live link won't go down for this one because we're ready to say hello to Alexander Orlov. We're very delighted to have him here. Good morning, Alexander.
Dobiera utra. Good morning this morning. And may I say, what a great pleasure it is for you to have me on your show.
You're absolutely right. It is a great pleasure to have you on the show. How are you? It's very cold in Russia at the moment.
Yes. It's very cold in Russia, but not as cold as in London at the moment. Look at Mr. Philip. He's got snow in his fur. And also, you are talking today about fur, and I think people who cannot grow their own fur should not borrow somebody else's. Fur looks best on the original owner. Imagine a meerkat without fur. What would it be? Probably Sergei.
That's a very good point, very good point. Now, we hear that you recently visited Coronation Street. How did you find it?
Satnav.
Well, I meant, how did you find being on the street, Alexander?
It was small and a lot of cobbles.
Were there a lot of famous people there?
Yeah, me.
Apart from you.
Well, I meet Nosy Norris, gossip queen of Weatherfield, and he tell me juicy nugget about naughty Steve McDonald. Also, I meet the great Ken Barlow. He was a real gentleman. I also meet Deirdre Barlow. She just sounds like a real gentleman. Oh, Ken.
Are there maybe other shows that you would like to take part in?
Well, I would like to appear on the Cube, because, as you know, I'm excellent at solve the Rubik's Cube. My claws are perfect for peel off the little colored stickers and put them back in different positions.
It's exactly what I used to do.
Also, I would like to do I'm a Celebrity, How Did I Get Here? That one is good, because I have no problem with slimy, creepy, crawly creatures. Also, I don't mind insects, so, tasty.
Well, then, perfect. I would want to find out whether he can skate later on as well, because dancing would be good.
Meerkat on ice.
Yeah, that would be very good. You've written some books as well, some storybooks. What was the inspiration behind those?
Well, Mr. Philip, it was actually you who gave me the perspiration. One night, I was lying in my massive bed, reading To Dream a Dream, The Amazing Life of Philip Schofield, written by Piers Morgan. And it was such a page flipper, I couldn't put it down. Believe me, I tried. So it inspired me to write my own bedtime reading stories. So I write Meerkat Tales.
And what are the books about, Alexander?
Well, they are the amazing books which are all written from the inside of my own head. And they tell the adventures and story tales of my friends and fellow villagers in Mirkovo. For example, in Sergei's book, he finally go into outer space in big rocket, Going into space have been his ambition ever since he was kicked out of the Meerkat space program for make pretend moon landing in his garage. In my book, I become superhero, the mysterious Nightcat, who battle evil villain on Moscow rooftops. All of books are very thrilling and full of adventure, so please, go buy.
So what was it like working with the other meerkats on the books?
I wouldn't say I worked with the other villagers. In fact, I would say that they are do nothing really. All books are think up expertly by me and dictated by me and typed not so expertly by Sergei. Publishers say they've never seen so many mistakes, not since your book, Philip. It cost me a fortune in correcting fluid.
Well, let me tell you that book by Piers Morgan was actually a pirate. He did not have my permission to write that book, so there you go. I've been wanting for years to say that out loud, but there you go. Thank you.
Now, Jonathan Ross, who, as you know, is a very well-known television presenter here, he said on his show recently that he thinks you would make a fantastic Bond villain. So what do you think of that?
Oh, Jonathan, he's such a character. We always have little joke, as to who is the most evil. And I think that Jonathan forgets that speech impediment and evil goatee beard are #1 requirement for Bond villain. No, niet. I would not be the villain. I would be Mr. Bond himself.
Which Bond would you be?
Oh, well, I would get my inspiration from the greatest Bond of all time, Mr. Roger Moore. Yeah? Would you like to see my impression of Roger Moore?
Very much.
Yes, please.
Okay. Now here, this is Roger Moore acting to the left. Now, Mr. Roger Moore acting to the right. And now, this is Mr. Roger Moore looking very, very surprised.
That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, it's not long till Christmas now. What are your plans for Christmas, Alexander? What will you be doing?
Well, on Christmas Day, I'm always wake up early by Sergey, who's get very excited about open present. And, I don't blame him. Who wouldn't be excited to unwrap a brand new pack of floppy disk labels? Then Sergey and I will prepare the dinner. I will drink the Beetlejuice and he will do everything else. Slugs in blankets, the roast scorpions with all the trimmings, and fluffy Mirkovo puddings. Maybe later I will invite the villagers and the Russian Philharmonic Orchestra plus Cliff Richard for a little sing-song. Just normal, low-key, nothing special Christmas. How about you?
Well, can I come on to yours? I think that sounds great.
There's nothing compared to that.
Please come. I would just like to say now, Srajditzvo.
Oh, could you say it again?
Srajditzvo.
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 Oh, what does that mean?
It means, please don't smoke in this carriage. No, it means Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Srajditzvo. Merry Christmas.
Great pleasure to talk to you. One of my most favourite interviews ever, I think.
Try to hold the book a little higher.
Okay. There it is. There you go. Thank you very much indeed. Cat Tales, those are the books that we're talking about. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm officially in love.
Indeed.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Good stuff. Right, no Sunny, final of